Aboard the Elvis train. It is an Elvis interview from August 17th, 1962. It's Hollywood, California.
Yeah, back in the old days. Now everybody thinks you're a model fellow. You know, you're a good guy. You're the epitome of the young man. Now I'm just wondering, is this by accident or by design?
Is this by accident or is this design? Well, you go and ask Gladys about this. She'll have first-class bloody knowledge of this, my friend.
Is this by accident or by design? What do you think it is? You know, you're...
Well, I've tried to be the same all through this thing, you know. Naturally, you learn a lot about people, and you're involved in a lot of different situations. And, but I've tried to be the same. I mean, the way I was brought up, you know.
So and I've
always considered other people's feelings. I've never. In other words, I didn't kick anybody, you know, on the way. And
Elvis kick.
I've always treated people just like I would like to be treated myself. And I consider other people's feelings. I don't assume the attitude of get these people out of here. You know, like I have heard of being done, and because those people are sincere in their feelings, and if they want to, you know, like autographs and pictures and things like that.
That's very nice of him.
I don't just sign the autographs and the pictures and so forth to help my popularity or to make them like me, you know. I do it because I know that they're sincere, and they see you and they want an autograph to take home. They got an autograph book. They've got their little camera and everything. So you have to know that. And if you don't do it, well, you make them mad at you. They don't understand. You hurt their feelings, and you make a lot of enemies that way. And for no reason, because it's as simple as this: once you get involved in this racket, business, your life is public, really. Regardless of what anybody says about my private life is my own. Well, it is to a certain extent. I mean, everybody has to have a certain amount of privacy, but once you get involved in this business and you're doing a public service, you're trying to entertain people, your life is not your own, really, because people are going to want to know what you're doing, where you are, what you wear, what you eat. These things are natural, or, you know, normal.
It is.
And,
they want to know everything about you, Elvis.
You have to consider that. You have to consider that these people are sincere. They don't know the kind of life you lead. They don't know what kind of person you are.
No.
And so, I try to remember that. That's all. It's simple. It's no problem. It's no big effort that I put forth. You know, I don't have any plans or anything. I just act on my own initiative. It's just the way I feel that is the right way, like I have everything else. And thank God, I've been pretty fortunate. I haven't made any, you know, bad decisions. Everything. But just the way I was brought up, you know, my surroundings, my mother and my father and the whole family were always considerate of other people's feelings, you know.
Yeah, that Gladys was a sweet woman.
Yeah, so he doesn't mind. It's like he could walk out into a crowd and he'd be like, you know, I'll sign some of your autographs. I'll take a picture with you. I'll answer some questions that you've got. You know, it's just my time is a little bit restricted. It's like I'm probably being rushed along by my security. You know, it's like, but it's like he's also saying stuff like his life is public knowledge, pretty much, and it will continue to be Elvis, I'm sorry, but it's like everybody knows your life right down to the day. Like what you was doing on a Tuesday in 1958. You know, they will know exactly what you was doing that Tuesday, 1958, July 12th or whatever. You know, they'll know. You know, which is a bit scary if you think of it that way. You know,
Some great pictures of you.
It's got to be hard. Life.
Good.
She really was a good woman.
Yes, she was.
Really liked her. I think she was, calm and underplayed everything, but very sweet underneath it all.
It's funny, she never really wanted anything, you know, so anything fancy. She just stayed the same all the way through the whole thing. I wish, you know, there's a lot of things happened since she passed away that I wish she could have been around to see. It would have made her very happy and very proud.
Yeah, of course. Elvis,
But
she would love to have seen it.
that's life. I can't help it.
You know, about 6 years ago, Elvis,
She would have been very proud of you, man. Very, very proud. Very, very. You know more than anyone. You know. Wow. Wow.
the girls loved you because the girls always, love you. Goddamn big mistake, kids. Let's face it. But the guys hated you, I guess. Out of sheer old jealousy.
Jealousy.
Anybody getting away, well, when it comes to it, but I was talking to a girl this morning about it, and the image has changed, you know? The guys like you now, or if they don't like you, they certainly don't dislike you. You know, it's kind of like the thing Gable had going for him. All the dames loved him, and all the guys liked him. You know, now this has been a change because the guys used to, hate you.
Yeah.
But now they like you.
That is.
But the dames love you. How do you think that came to be? Do you think it was the army stint?
That's so
It
interesting.
contributed a lot to it, probably. It's pretty hard for me to analyze it because I don't know, really. But I would say the Army had a lot to do with it. And
Maybe.
also the fact that there's never anything about my, being an egomaniac or thinking that I'm a lover or a ladies' man or something like that. Because it's amusing. It's a compliment to me, but it's amusing, you know.
It's amusing.
I've never looked or thought of myself as being
Oh, wow.
a lady killer or anything like that.
No.
You know. And I've never shown it that I know of. I've never tried to. You know.
Wow.
So I guess the fellas.
This guy's flipping humble, man. It's like the Elvis. It's the Elvis, and he's saying this. He's like, he's never really considered himself a lady killer. That was his words. It's like, damn. I mean, look in the bloody mirror, man. Look in the mirror. You're going to see something beautiful in there, staring back at you. You know. Very humble. Seriously, flip.
Over a period of time, just. They figure, well,
Wow.
he's taking it all with a grain of salt. And
Elvis, what do you think of yourself as?
I beg your pardon?
What do you think of yourself as?
Oh, do you think it was so bad?
You mean as an entertainer or as an individual or what? Just-
Oh,
It's interesting.
I can sum it up fairly easily. I
Bit of a hard question.
have a lot that I'd like to do, a lot that I'd like to accomplish in time, but I feel that it takes time to accomplish certain things. You can't
what would you like to
overstep your bound. I'd like to improve in an awful lot of ways, especially in the entertainment business. Well, for one thing, the acting thing, and naturally I try to
He kind of dodged
get
that.
better songs and sing a little better.
Yeah,
things
I think
like that.
that was a very difficult question, like awkward almost. Like, what do you think of yourself? It's like, Well, what do I think of myself? I don't even know if I could answer that. So he sort of diverted it and sort of changed the subject, kind of. That was kind of a... It was a bit of a silly question by the interviewer here, to be honest.
But what I look at myself as...
It's hard.
Not being, you know, I'm not really playing everything down, but as a human being, really, has been very, extremely fortunate in so many ways.
Mm.
Although I have had and still
I see
have.
you as a god. Just my opinion.
I'm very lonely, and you know, there are times when I really don't know. It feels like I don't know what I'm going to do next, you know. But I've experienced a lot of the different phases in life. I've experienced happiness and loneliness, and the wealthy side of life, the average side of life, you know, not having anything, but not knowing what it's like to have anything. So,
You started off
and
very...
tragedy,
In what sense?
and well, you know, such as like losing my mother while I was in the army, and
Yeah. So, this is the first time that I've heard an interview of him actually even talking about his mum. This is like the first time. So this is very interesting to see, because this was a few years later, you know, and he still sounds upset. Even in this, you can sort of tell from the way he's talking that it's like still like it's cut him deep, and you can feel that just from this one tiny bit of an interview, you know.
I think that things like that, as tragic as they are, tend to make you a little better human being, really, because you learn more about yourself. It gives you a better understanding of yourself as well as other people, and it can only help. But I think that I like the business I'm in. I like to entertain people. The money or the financial end of it is not the greatest aspect as far as I'm concerned. It can't be, because if it was, it would show. And I wouldn't care about the other people, or I wouldn't care about a performance that I gave. I would, you know.
It's true.
Of course, I mean, it's, you know, it's great if you can get in a position to have things, you know. But I like to entertain people. That's why I pick all of my records, and I try to pick the best songs possible. I try to do the best I can in the movies, you know, with the experience that I've gotten and everything. But I look at myself strictly as a human being who's like I said, been very lucky, but whose life has blood running through my veins and can be snuffed out in just a matter of seconds, you know, and not as anything supernatural or better than any other human being.
You like yourself?
Sometimes.
No,
what I mean by liking myself, I'm proud of.
That's another really weird question. Do you like yourself? Okay, that is the second strike, my friend. There's some strange questions coming out.
I'm proud of the way that I was brought up to believe and to treat people and have respect for people. When I am pushed to a certain point, I have a very bad temper, you know, extremely bad temper. So much to the point I have no idea what I'm doing, you know.
You blow much?
Not very often. Not very often. In fact, I could probably count the times, but when I have, it's always been pretty bad.
Wow.
But it doesn't happen very often. Of course, everybody has a temper.
Yeah.
And then I don't like myself, you know, later.
Looking back on it all, would you do anything differently Like, you know, go to college or is there anything?
Well, I wanted to go to college. I wanted to play football. I have a great ambition to play to play football. I have had, and I still have, believe it or not. And I've got a touch league, a touch football league back home. And I like rugged sports. I'm not knocking people who like, golf and tennis and the other things, but I like rugged sports. I like some, where you can take, as a man, such as boxing and football and karate and things like that.
Do you have an outside interest, other than the dames, which we all have? But I mean, is there anything you like other than
I would say right now, really, all kidding aside, that the thing I keep up with most is professional football. I know all the players, I know all their numbers, who they play for, and
wow.
I've had people to quiz me on it, just in games when we had nothing to do.
That's cool.
And that's a big thing with me right now. And I watch all the games that I can. I get the films from the teams themselves if I can.
Awesome.
But next to the entertainment thing and music, that I guess would be the biggest.
That's a lot of fun.
What kind of life do you live? Where you live?
So he loves football, right? So that is like his passion. That is the one thing he actually does when he's like not singing or whatever, or acting. That's what he done. That's quite interesting.
Bellagio Road.
Yeah, I live on Bellagio Road.
What type of house do you have? You rent it?
I lease it, by the year, yeah.
What type of house is it? Whose house was it?
I don't know who it belonged to.
It wasn't Gracie.
Where is it?
It's on Bellagio Road. It's near the Beverly. Let's see. What's the name of the hotel in Bel Air there?
The Bel Air Hotel?
Yeah. That's right.
What number? I know all those houses.
What's the number of the house, Gene? 10539 Bellagio Road.
Mrs. Owens used to rent?
Ms. Owens still owns it. She's the one we leased from. All right. It's the third. I think it's the third largest house there. It's a Spanish tile thing with the little balconies and so forth. It's a very, very nice house.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
I have to run it now. I'll talk to you a few minutes later.
Very important thing that's been taken up in the United Nations.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Did you say it's like 1059 or something like that? I'm gonna have to look that up.
Gene, what in the hell did you tell for? I'm gonna have everybody in the South.
So just Gene and myself. Hello, come in. What's like?
What's that? Oh.
Eight guys come in. What's like you got 8 guys living with you in Bel Air? 7 guys. How many guys are you? You're pretty good.
No, I'm gonna say I've actually got. I've got a bookkeeper. A guy who.
Can we put the guy's name?
Just a second. Sure, you can. Why not? I have a bookkeeper. His name is Joe Esposito. He's from Chicago, and he. I met him in the Army. He was a bookkeeper before. And then Gene, who takes care of the cars, the maintenance of the car, the maintaining of the cars, and.
Can we put him above the high yellow?
No. And another boy, Alan Fortas. He's from Memphis, Tennessee. Fortas, Alan, Alan Fortas. And
So
another guy named Ray.
So they all live in
Ray
the same house.
Sitton, Sitton. I've actually only got 5 guys. And they take care. He and Billy, who's my little cousin. He's a little guy, and he had to quit school early. He had to quit school early to get a job, and he had a hard time finding a job because of his size. So I gave him a job, and he.
What's his name?
His name is Billy Smith, and He's one of my mother's relatives.
I have heard of Billy Smith. That rings a bell. You guys have been talking to me about him in the comments, and he has popped up a few times. Why has he popped up? You're going to have to refresh my memory why Billy Smith is such a big name, because he does come up a lot in the comments.
And he does little odd jobs, you know. But each one of them have different jobs to do. They take care of the clothes and the packing and unpacking and business phone calls. They answer fan mail and things like that. And for the companionship of traveling, you know, I couldn't travel alone. But it's actually only 5. And I have other people come in from time to time and stay a little while, but they're not, you know, employees. They're just buddies or visitors. Yeah, it's a Dodge mobile homes trailer, like a trailer that we travel in. That and a Chrysler station wagon. That's what we go back and forth across country in. I've got a rule. It stays here, though. I never take it anywhere.
Nice. So he's got a few cars at this point.
I have that's all I've got here. With the exception of that customized job, the white Cadillac limousine, 60 model limousine that I had customized.
Ooh.
Back home, I've got 61 Cadillac limousine and a 1956 Lincoln Continental Mark II.
Oh my gosh!
And that's all, with the exception of the stuff they use there, like the truck that they haul, you know, groceries in.
Beautiful.
I've 3 gate guards. You know, they pull 8-hour shifts. And 2 maids. And they call it, yes. And my father takes care of all my personal. He's employed. I mean, he's like on a salary, but he takes care of all the personal business, banking, and any business transaction. He handles it all, you know.
So his dad does all that. That's interesting.
Spain Fisher, the accountant, yeah.
Wow. Oh, I didn't know that. I knew. I just assumed that he just lived with him. I didn't assume that he actually worked for him, like under wage. Like that's.
They have quite a job.
That's insane. I didn't know that.
I bought some 10 acres right across the street from Graceland not too long ago.
Oh, so he is living in Graceland. Right, okay, I get you. So he's just renting wherever he is right now. He's renting, but he does actually own Graceland. It's not like it's like a temporary
there's a lady
home.
Well, we tried to buy it one time before because it's in a good spot. It's right near a shopping center. And we tried to buy it, and the lady didn't want to sell it at the time, and then all of a sudden she needed money, and so we bought that.
So that was connected to
That's
Graceland.
all right now.